Ham and cheese is a global classic combination, but today we're going to make a ham and cheese quick bread. In fact, in France, it's called cake salé, which means salty cake, but in this case, it's savory. And you're going to eat this right after it comes out of the oven. You'll serve it alongside a salad. You can also toast it the next day and float it as croutons in soup. It's really delicious and very, very simple to make. What we're going to do is begin with our dry mixture. And we're going to begin with all-purpose flour, get that into a larger bowl, and then we're going to combine it with some salt and pepper and some baking powder. Now, before this dry goes into the wet, it's always a good idea to whisk your dry ingredients. That way they're nice and incorporated, and then it all goes into the mixture much more easily. Now, we'll get this all combined, and then we'll set this aside and get busy on the wet mixture. Now, first up, we're going to add in 4 whole eggs. Then we're going to put in some buttermilk for richness and tang. Then a little olive oil, and finally in this mixture, we're whisking in some flat leaf parsley that's been chopped. Let's get our whisk back out, break up those yolks, and get all of that back in. Beautiful. This really is a marvelous savory bread and one that I think you're going to love. Wrap it up tight and have it the next day, however you like. You can also make great sandwiches with this. Then we're going to add in our flour little bits at a time so we can get that incorporated into the wet. So let's add in about 1/3 of that mixture and work that into the wet mixture. This also keeps you from splattering all over the countertop when you add it in small amounts. Beautiful. Add in a little more. In fact, I'm feeling brave. I'll put all of it in. Now we'll get this worked in, and what's really going to give this a nice salt bite are the cheese and the meat choice that we're going to use here. And I'm going to fold in, so now I'm not going to use my whisk anymore, I'll use a spatula. This is shredded Asiago cheese, which has a marvelous salt bite to it and a really nice aroma and flavor. And we went to the deli and bought some prosciutto in slices and then rough chopped it. This is a beautiful bread. So easy, so quick. And then all we're doing here, instead of mixing, and you want to be careful not to overmix your batter, we're just folding in that cheese and the prosciutto into the mixture so it's nice and evenly incorporated. Beautiful. Very nice. Now, we've taken a loaf pan and we've greased this with some olive oil and then we dusted it with flour. That's going to keep the cake from sticking and add great flavor. And it's a thick batter again, so don't be nervous about that. Very easy to work with. We'll turn this to the side. Big bowl and get it right into our baking dish. Ooh, perfect. Now we'll spread this out so it'll bake nice and evenly. I preheated my oven to 350 degrees, and this is going to go in for about 35 to 40 minutes. And then we'll let it cool, and we'll slice it when it's still warm. So we took the cake out of the oven and let it cool on a wire rack for about 20 minutes. Now it's GBD, golden brown delicious, and this is just gorgeous. Smells even better. No sticking thanks to that olive oil and flouring of the loaf pan. And then get a nice serrated knife and cut yourself some beautiful slices. Again, this is great to serve alongside a salad. You could also, the next day, cut these into cubes and toast them. Use them as croutons in soup. I think it's really nice by itself, or even cut it into slices and use the bread for sandwiches. Let me show you the inside of the bread. All of the beautiful ingredients. You can see the prosciutto, you can see that flat leaf parsley, and you'll taste all the great cheese. Speaking of cheese, I have a garlic cheese spread that I'm going to spread on the top here to have a nice warm bite of the ham and cheese quick bread. I think the French have it right. It's not salty at all. It's savory and delicious.